Good morning, Facebook Live. Marcus here. Hello, YouTube, Instagram, however you're checking us out. Appreciate it. We rebroadcast this on we rebroadcast on other outlets. So it is Friday morning, a little before 8 a.m. And I'm in the restaurant getting some work done, doing a little construction jobs today, some minor things, doing some painting. This morning, mounting a new fan we got, which I'll do a video on later. Really excited about this new fan that we got. We spent about $800 on a fan, and I'll talk all about it. Most people are just going to say, well, what kind of fan would you buy for $800? So I'll talk about that tomorrow or something. We're doing the construction on that today. This morning, thank you everybody who supported us yesterday. We really appreciate it. Our $9.99 burger night was a huge success. I haven't even tallied up how many burgers we sold, but we had a lot of to-go burgers. Every Thursday night, we do a $9.99 burger night. And that's to go. It's valid to go. We recently, when COVID happened, we made our burger bigger. We changed a lot of our menu prices and our structuring once COVID happens. We started doing those $9.99 specials that were extremely popular to go, which we're going to be bringing some of those back, by the way. Right now, it's super popular is our lobster bake. Our lobster bake, which happens every Friday, Saturday, Sunday from 4 to 9 p.m. is a whole lobster, clams, corn, potatoes, drawn butter for $25. It is the talk of the town. People are coming from all over. It is really an awesome deal, insane deal. So that's the number one deal that's leading the restaurant right now. So when COVID happened, we kind of readjusted prices. We lowered some prices. We made a lot of our entrees a la carte, so you order what you want. Prices drop significantly. It's working out really, really well. It's helping us use a lot more local produce, a ton more local produce we're using. We got these really cool, insane Japanese sprouting cauliflower right now. We've gotten them from two different farms, Marquisto and I forgot the other one, I think Edge Rock or Edgewater Farm. We buy from two farm hubs, and we have access to literally 40, 50 different farms every single week. And even throughout the year, we have access to tons of farms that produce year-round. So that's really cool. So these Japanese sprouting cauliflower are really, really cool. We have shishito peppers in from a local farm. Yellow wax beans in from Satur Farms. That's like a green bean, but it's yellow. They just call them yellow wax beans. Those are in. So a lot of really cool stuff. I wanted to do a little demo on cracking a coconut this morning. I've done this before, and people have asked me again how to do this. So I'm going to just jump into the kitchen here, and these young Thai coconuts that we have, I'm going to show you how to crack one of these. I'm having one for breakfast this morning. So that is it right there, a young Thai coconut. So I'm going to crack this. Now, let me talk about it a little bit. Let me set up the camera here so you can see. Let's see here. Give me a moment here as I try to adjust my tripod. There we go. Beautiful. Okay, so this is a young Thai coconut. This coconut typically would be green on the outside. It is green. It starts out green on the outside. And what happens is, and this is from Asia, from Thailand. You can get a green coconut from anywhere, but for some reason, the Thai coconuts are the sweetest and the most desired coconuts. Just the species they have, the type of coconut that they have. But this is a standard green coconut. So when you go like to Florida and you see those green coconuts that are on the trees, this is what this is. Once a coconut becomes mature, that whole outside green shell falls off and the nut is left inside, which is brown, which is inside here right now, but it's just immature. So these are extremely, extremely beneficial. The liquid that's inside of here is literally loaded with lauric acid, which is a major immune booster. The enzymes in here, it's great. The concentration of omega-3 fatty acids in the flesh. This is an amazing superfood. So you can buy these we sell these, by the way, too. So if you wanted to buy one of these, we have these here. They're going to go back on our menu. They've been on our menu for many years. And you can also buy these to go. And we'll also crack them for you, too. It's not that difficult to crack. So this is what I like to do to crack these. So a knife like this works just fine, a regular chef's knife. You do not need some people are under the impression that you need like a meat cleaver or some kind of cleaver. You don't need that. This is not needed. What's needed is just a sturdy chef's knife. Make sure it's not a thin-bladed Japanese chef knife, because it probably will crack it on the bottom. But this is literally a cheap $10 knife that you can buy at the store. So what I do is I just make a little drawing. I just mark the outside. So I just basically, see that line I put in there? That is my guide that I'm going to crack this with. Now, hopefully my tripod and my phone won't fall. So I use the heel of the knife. The heel of the knife is the best, because that's where you're going to get the motion from, and it's a wrist motion. It's a totally wrist motion. So you're going to see, that's the motion. It's a down and snapping of the wrist, snapping of the wrist. So, and there are other ways to do this. So, for example, you could just take this like this. Let's see if you can see. All right, there. And you can just start shaving this down too. This works as well. So, in fact, I'll shave it down so you can see what's in here. This is easier for it to crack like this, because you can see the nut inside. So I just went on my line, basically, and went down. Okay, so there's the top of the nut exposed. So the brown coconut that you're used to is right there. Now this is more of a mature young coconut. Young coconuts come in several different ages. This one happens to actually be a bit on the mature side. I can tell by how hard the shell is and how brown it is. So that's going to take a little more chopping than a younger version of a young coconut. But now the shell is exposed. So literally I'm just going to go right in on the tip. And just, the knife goes right in there, and you can see the shell is cracking. I like to make this as wide as possible, because then you can stick a spoon in it and consume the jelly that's inside. So again, it's just a slight action with my wrist, a little bit with my arm, and snapping of my wrist. So now I've really gone around this pretty much. I've made an incision all the way around. I have one last spot left. This is where I'm really going to go in with the blade of the knife, and I'm going to twist it so I can snap that lid off. And there we go. So there's the flesh inside, which is totally edible. This flesh here is, like I said, a little older than other young Thai coconuts. But this flesh, some of the flesh is like really like soft, and they call it a jelly coconut. But you can actually eat this. This is totally edible. That's the flesh of the coconut. So I like to make the hole big enough so you can get a spoon in there and keep scraping out some of the other flesh. I'm going to continue to go to the bar now. There's my straw. I'm going to go to the bar now and drink this while I talk about other things. So good morning, everybody, for tuning in. Got a lot of people on right now. Appreciate that. So let me just flip the camera here. So that is a young Thai coconut. Very healthy for you. High quality water in there. Extremely refreshing. So we sell these. I don't know the price of them, but you can buy them to go. Hannaford has them. Right now they're a little bit on the expensive side. If you got this to go, it'd be like $6 or something. And we can crack it for you and just wrap it with plastic wrap so it doesn't spill on you. So if you wanted us to crack it, we can. A lot of people are nervous about cracking it for obvious reasons. A lot of people don't have the proper knife. You really don't need, like I said, like a butcher's knife or a cleaver like that. You just need a cheap, sturdy chopping or chef's knife, and use the heel of it and crack away. All right, so our lobster bakes are tonight. Call ahead. We do day of reservations. We don't like people to call ahead more than a day or so, because we don't know what the weather's like. Even though we have the tent outside and we have a lot of umbrellas, if we overbook ourselves and we have torrential downpours, there's an issue. So that's why we like to time things the day of. We have the tent out there that has several tables underneath it. We have the indoor dining room here, which we're not seating people inside yet. A lot of people don't want to be seated inside. A lot of people are like, no, I don't want to be inside. I want to be outside. So, and we're not ready to jump inside yet, unless it's an emergency and you have to come in because of the downpours. So, latest news right now. A lot of restaurants are upset with the governor. The governor keeps keeps changing things as things happen here, and just keeps saying things, and sometimes things that he says are a little off the wall. So his latest controversial thing is the buffalo wing, the chicken wing. So last week, Governor Cuomo says that if you want to go into even a restaurant or a bar, it doesn't matter, restaurant or bar, if you go in, you cannot get alcohol alone. So you cannot come to one of my tables in my back patio in the garden, be socially distanced, by yourself, with your spouse, with somebody you cohabitate with. You can't come in and just order alcohol. You can't come in just for a beer anymore. You can't come in just for a margarita anymore. Governor Cuomo wants you to consume a substantial dish with your alcohol. That's the new rule that he came up with last week, which the reason I think he said that is because he doesn't want people to congregate. You're not allowed to walk up to a bar anymore and order and take. It has to be, if you were to sit at my bar here, you'd have to be socially distanced 6 feet. If you were less than 6 feet, you'd have to have plexiglass dividers or some kind of divider every between people if you weren't socially distanced. So he made a statement that has made a lot of restaurants upset. First of all, by him doing this, he's putting a big burden on bars or places that are known to have people just socially distance and have a drink. Jamie and I like to go place to place. We'll go to the waterfront in Newburgh, or we'll go places, and we'll just pop in for a drink and maybe a very small bite or something. That's what we enjoy doing. And a lot of people are like that. They want to come in just for a margarita, just for a beer, and then get out of here and go on their way. Well, now you have to order food when you do that. Now, what's controversial is he is saying substantial food, and he is knocking the chicken wing. He's knocking the chicken wing and saying chips, things like that. The chicken wings are not substantial. You have to order a sandwich, soup, things like that. So a lot of restaurants are up in arms, and here's why. Because the Liquor Authority guidelines, when you open a restaurant and you submit your menu, chicken wings are listed as a substantial food. Chicken wings are listed as a legitimate food. In New York State, you cannot open a bar without having some type of food menu. You actually have to submit your food menu to the Liquor Authority, and they have to approve it for you to get your liquor license. So even if you go to just a bar without a kitchen, you'll notice that they'll have some type of food available. It might be a small type of food, but some type of food available. I've known restaurants that have had pre-made sandwiches that they don't make in-house. They buy pre-made sandwiches, and they're able to sell a pre-made sandwich. But you have to be able to offer something for food and not just alcohol. And now Cuomo says, well, you people just can't do that. You can still come in and buy food, quote unquote, Cuomo, substantial food, and order 3, 4, 5, 6 drinks. You don't need to have substantial food every time you order a drink. Supposedly that's how it goes, but you have to at least have something. And like a table of 4 can't share a small bag of potato chips, or even have a bag of potato chips per person, because that's not substantial food. So if you go out to a restaurant and a restaurant's telling you this, it's totally legitimate. It's one of Cuomo's new things. I don't think he researched what substantial food is. I don't think he knows about what the Liquor Authority and this and that of what was there. I think he just started saying stuff just to say stuff, and he's pissed off a lot of restaurants, including the restaurants in Buffalo who invented the chicken wing, because they feel that not only is their chicken wing substantial, but it's a part of American history. It is part of a major economic portion of restaurants. There's wing. So if you own a wing restaurant with alcohol, you're not allowed to. If you walk in there and want alcohol, wings don't count as a substantial food. So this has a lot of restaurants up in arms. And wings, let's face it, wings are an iconic American food. Chicken wings are, and we sell a lot of chicken wings here, a ton of chicken wings. and I just don't get his new thing at all. So I understand what these restaurants are up in arms for. I really, it's insane. It's absolutely insane. So in the meantime, we're open. We're practicing social distance. We're being safe here. We are doing what we can to comply with the guidelines and set forth by the state. So we disagree with that, and hopefully he'll come out and say, I was mistaken. I did not read the guidelines with the Liquor Authority, the ABC. I did not read their guidelines in depth, and I missed it, and I misspoke. And wings are a substantial food. And go ahead and to a restaurant, and have wings, and enjoy your beer. So, hopefully that will. Hopefully he can admit that mistake and change. It's obviously a mistake. He's talking. Time for a Wingathon protest. Paul's saying, love that Wingathon protest. Then no social distancing required. Wings on Canal Street weekend. I love that idea. All the restaurants get together and do wings and protest. I guess if you're protesting, you don't need social distance. And what a great way to protest with wings. So the iconic American food here from Buffalo, New York. So great idea. Let's do a Wingathon and protest with an official Wingathon. So hopefully Governor Cuomo will admit that he is mistaken, at least on that. And that's it, folks. Thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate all the support here, Jamie and I. So a lot of comments coming in. Cuomo says wings are not food. New York Liquor Authority says they are. Paul just posted that link. Paul sent that to me this morning too as well. So thank you, Paul, for sending that link to us. I appreciate that. John's saying miss your bar and food. Thank you, John. And good morning, everybody who's tuning in. Holly, Michelle, Anthony. Good morning, Anthony. How's it going? A bunch of people are on this morning. Sally Ann. Hi, Sally Ann. Kit. Don is on. Cindy. Hi, Cindy. Ralph is watching. Laura. Hi, Laura. Michael is on. Thanks, Michael. Appreciate everybody's support. Tina, Susan. A lot of you have been really supporting us, and we really appreciate it. So thank you very much. It's not been easy since March here in the restaurant industry, and a lot of restaurants are going under. A lot of restaurants have gone under, and we still have not really experienced. There's a lot more restaurants that will be going under. It's just what's happening. Restaurants can't make it in this tough time. It's really tough to make it. Even restaurants that are appearing to be busy are still only at 50% occupancy, and that's cutting your labor in 50%. It's cutting your sales in 50%. Unfortunately, a lot of restaurants didn't get a rent reduction or not getting a mortgage reduction. They might have had a temporary relief, but overall, that stuff is coming to an end, and people are still paying full mortgages, full leases. It's insane, and with that kind of equation, you're going to see more restaurants going under. So I personally think that we just now started, or we haven't really seen the true restaurant foldings yet. So it's unfortunate, very unfortunate. And hopefully we can turn things around pretty quickly. So all right, so let's talk about our wine trip. So Jamie and I had a great conversation yesterday with somebody who I really admire in the travel industry, somebody who has given me some great tips and made some great connections, introduced me to some great people in this industry, who's a fellow friend and a runner. So I really appreciate when I get a chance to speak to this individual. And him and I spoke yesterday for, I think, 45 minutes yesterday morning about the travel industry and where it's going, because of course many of you know that we do trips to Italy and Spain. And we had to switch our trip from this November to April, and a lot of other people have pushed their trips off to next spring. Some people are still holding on in hopes that they'll be able to travel internationally perfectly fine this fall, and you probably will be able to a certain extent. I'm not 100% sure. So I had my insider in the travel industry talk to him yesterday, and he goes, Marcus, things are turning around in the travel industry. There's more confidence now. Industries are putting more money in. The tides are turning. Is November possible? Probably. Is April possible? Absolutely, is what we're hearing. That April is from April on. Italy's been reopened since May 19th, by the way, or May 9th. Beginning of May, Italy reopened. They're open for travel and tourism. The wineries are open. Everything is open. So you could legitimately go to Italy, and you could do that. People are traveling right now under the radar. So people that I know are like, well, I'm not, when I travel, like I'm not taking, if I'm doing a drive, I'm not taking my Easy Pass. I don't want them to track me. I'm not going to, so people are traveling under the radar. They're not posting on social media where they're going. People are traveling, and Italy, Europe is moving. Europe is traveling. Italy is open for tourism. Absolutely right now. But the confidence isn't there, of course. And by the way, the one place you absolutely wear a mask is on an airplane, whether you're pro-mask or anti-mask. All right, there's two sides here, and both sides are very compelling. The science is very compelling no matter what you read, whether a mask is important or not important. I was listening to a well-known anti-masker yesterday talk and do presentation, and this person is like, it's not that I'm anti-mask, the mask is abused way too much, and there's certain times you absolutely wear a mask and certain times you don't wear a mask. And you wear a mask when you're on an airplane. You don't wear a mask when you're outside by yourself because you need the fresh air. So he was going in both directions, and he's known to be, very, very health positive and cautious, and very health positive, very science based. And he was like, plane, you put a mask on. But also a lot of people are wearing masks improperly. A lot of people are wearing masks improperly. They're wearing the same mask. We wash our masks on a regular basis. They go through the laundry, they go through a disinfecting process. I have a shield that I spray down with rubbing alcohol several times a day. The shield that I wear, I can't stand wearing the shield or the mask. I'm the first person to admit I cannot stand wearing it. I wear it because, first of all, I have to work here. But I think there's a thing about smart wearing masks. Somebody gave Jamie and I a lot of grief and yelled at us a couple weeks ago when we were in New Haven, Connecticut. We were out on a bike ride. Her and I were out on a bike ride, and they stopped the car and yelled at us that we're being irresponsible. We're out on our bikes without a mask on. So they're like, you're sweating, you don't have a mask on, this and that. You need fresh air. You need oxygen. You need that. There's certain places that you need a mask. There's some places you don't need a mask. I don't want to really get into the controversy of that, but if you look at both sides of the story, there's compelling evidence on both sides to why you should or should not be wearing a mask. And I feel that the true way that you can really argue a point is if you can swap sides and then switch sides and debate somebody from the other side. That's really the true way that you understand and can form an opinion on something, is where you can flop sides. So I read both sides of it, and it was interesting what this person was saying. So speaking about back to travel, our trip to Italy. We are planning our trip to Italy in April. We have a lot of interest. Right now, there's an all-time high, and this person agreed with me yesterday on the phone with, there's an all-time high in travel interests. We have people messaging us, we have people calling us, we have people that have never been out of the country, sometimes never been on a plane, that are messaging us and say, okay, I'm totally interested. This whole COVID thing has opened my eyes. Like, life is short. I've got to travel. I want to see Italy, and I can't think of a better way to travel to Europe than with you guys and drink great wine, and I've watched your trips for years. So we are on our way back to Italy in April. This trip that we're doing is going to sell out. We're already well over halfway on it without even trying to sell this trip out. Because again, people want to travel. They want to travel, and they're like, let's do it. Life is short. So we're going to be traveling to southern Italy, to my homeland, to Apulia. That's where my family's from. They're from just outside of Bari, from a city called Fasano, which Jamie and I were there last November. We were in Fasano, we were in Bari, went up and down Apulia. We made some amazing contacts. I'm going to start doing a lot more of these pictures and videos online. We made some amazing contacts while we were down there. And we have a lot more wine coming in from that region. Right now we have the Botramagno Falanghina. We have the Produttoria Mendoria. We have their Alice. We have another wine from them. We have several wines coming in today that are from that region. We have a couple more from that region. Tasted an amazing Pinot Grigio the other day from that region that we're going to bring in. This is a picture that I took That is a Trulio de Pezza. Pezza's the winery. Their wines are coming back in stock this week. We have had their wines many times. Their wines come back in today. They're Primitivo, I believe, right, Jamie? They're Primitivo. So this, I took this picture. That's a Trulio hut that is indicative of southern Italy. They have those all over the landscape. Those are used for when the workers take their afternoon break, and they go in there. It's made of rock. All the rocks are collected throughout these fields, and they get collected and they get made into here. This is this old building. It's cool in there. It's actually very cool inside those buildings. And they take their break in there in the afternoon. That is actually a vineyard, Trulio de Pezza, which we have their wines. The goal here in the restaurant is for if you sit down at this table and you look up, you can order that wine. You can order that wine from that vineyard in Spain. You can order this wine from the vineyard in Spain. You can order that wine, which is amazing winery as well. So the goal is for us to really showcase all the places that we've been in Italy and Spain and in the Hudson Valley, where you can sit down and say, hey, I'm eating the burger that was made on that farm right there. I'm drinking the wine from there. I'm eating the Reggiano from that exact place, which is the Reggiano that we buy our Reggiano cheese from. So that's the main goal, is to really make that connection of local and abroad. All these pictures, I've taken all those pictures, so I'm kind of proud of them. So Italy's back on. Italy's on in April. If you're interested, we're going to start sending emails out. The itinerary's up on our website, romantimebistro.com. Check it out. Call us if you have any questions. We have a payment plan option, easy, super easy, 4 equal payments, 0 interest charge. It's super easy. If COVID is happening and still going on, of course the trip can't go on. So we have that kind of protection. So don't worry about that. We had this trip booked up for this November trip. People had given us money. Certain people were paid in full, everything. And even though we legitimately could travel because Italy's open, we chose not to. So nobody lost any money on that trip. Nobody lost any money at all. So we are, we will, if something's happening like that, that's no problem. And obviously the travel industry has changed. So, all right, folks, thanks for tuning in. I really, really appreciate it. Yeah, make sure your passports are in order. Simone's saying, even if you don't plan on traveling, folks, get your passport in order. You have no idea how long it's going to take to get one. You have no idea, when you need to travel. You have no idea. Always have a valid passport. Always have a valid passport ready to go. You can rush them if you needed to, but don't rush them. Just do one. It's inexpensive to do a passport. Get it ready. And you never know. Maybe somebody will buy you a trip to Italy. Maybe somebody will surprise you and buy you a trip to Italy or somewhere that you're not expecting. So get your passport ready. And the winery behind me is in Spain. This is a very old, eighth generation old winery. Those are very old barrels. Really cool winery. Very, very awesome winery. So, Tondonia. All right, folks. I'm out of here. I got to get back to construction, hanging up the $900 fan. I'll talk about that tomorrow and everything else. Hope to see everybody this weekend, or have a safe weekend. Enjoy. I think it's good weather this weekend from when I checked yesterday. And remember, we're taking day of reservations, 647-3000. We're still giving out free gloves, and we're still giving out free water. So come in and get free gloves. You should not be pumping gas without gloves on your hands. Once one of those dirty things, you're never going to touch that gas pump. I've never seen a gas station outside sanitizing their gas pumps. I've never, ever seen it. If you think about how many people touch that gas handle every single day and put it back, they're in their car, they're touching their face, they're sticking their finger in their ear and stuff, and then they're coming and pumping gas, and they're going to buy a donut inside Stewart's and coming back out and eating. Just to think about how dirty those gas handles are insane. I've never seen a gas station once go out and sanitize them. I've been saying this for years. You've got to wash your hands after you pump gas. We wear gloves. Make sure you throw your gloves in the garbage afterwards. Yesterday I went to a store. And the shopping carts were in low they were in low supply. So I was like, where's the shopping cart? So here's a guy pushing a shopping cart back towards the front of the building. And what does he do? He takes off his gloves and he throws. He's handing me the cart, by the way. He goes, no. He pushes the cart to me, takes off his gloves and throws them in the cart. And I was like, that was just rude. Like, you're letting me deal with your gloves now that are on your hands. I don't know if you washed your hands before you put on your gloves. You could have been pumping gas. Then put on the gloves when you went into the store, harbored more bacteria, created a warm, moist environment for that bacteria then to grow. And now you're just taking your gloves off, which come off inside out, which the bacteria is going to be exposed if your hands were dirty, throws it right in the cart, and then pushes the cart towards me. He knows I need the cart because there's no carts. And I was like, it's insane how sometimes people are just rude or don't think. Of course, I didn't use that cart. I wanted nothing to do with that cart. So I'm like, this is just not proper etiquette. Make sure you throw away your gloves when you're done with them. Do not throw them on the ground. Throw them in a proper container. When I have gloves on, and if I don't have a garbage and I'm going into my car, I take off the gloves and I put them on the floor of my car. And then when I have a proper garbage, then I throw them out. But don't let other people be responsible for your garbage, for your gloves, and for your masks. And especially don't let Mother Nature be responsible for it. It's just not right. So, how many need to make a reservation for, what is it for? Oh. Teresa, you're trying to make, how? 647-3000, Teresa. Give us a call, 647-3000. And day of. So Simone's saying she's been waiting 6 months for her passport. So yes, folks, put that on your to-do list. Even if you're not thinking about traveling, but if you need to go to Canada, you need a passport, right? So, even though we can't go to Canada right now, I don't think, or get back into the country. I'm not sure how it's working. If they're not letting us in, or not letting us out. So get a passport. If it's taking 6 months or more, get your passport ASAP. You never know when you need it. All right, folks, I'm out of here now. Got to run and do some errands and do some construction. And we'll talk to you later. Stay tuned for Jamie's Live this afternoon, 4 o'clock, Facebook Live with Jamie. National Margarita Day. Okay. All right, I guess our drink's going to be a margarita of some sort. All right, folks, thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you later.